we will see now the factors for successful innovation. Which criterions are important to succeed in innovation?
So first of all, it is a question of benefit. It is important. So the benefit has to be important and unique. It is customers want superior solutions by buying new products or services, and they don't buy new products for the sake of buying new products. And that is why it's important to understand what is perceived benefit or perceived value. Perceived value is comparison between the value a product or a service gives to a consumer in comparison with the cost you have to pay for this product or service. Cost can be naturally monetary nature, but there are also psychological and energy sacrifices. So, in other words, if you buy a new smartphone, a new computer, or if you buy a stay at Airbnb or in a hotel or TripAdvisor, there's a psychological risk before buying that. So these are costs, and it is important to understand this risk from the marketing point of view, because we can decrease this risk by granting insurances, for example, or perfect after-sales service, complaint management. And so there are a lot of customer relationship tools that enables the firm to decrease the psychological cost. Or if we take the example of a low-cost carrier, EasyJet, Ryanair, AirAsia have the lowest monetary cost, but you have higher psychological cost, because you never know when you fly. Sometimes they might be very late. And what happens when the flight is delayed? You might arrive during the night time. Then you have to take an expensive taxi to go to the city. Sometimes the low-cost airports are far away, so we have to pay high transport. And even worse, when your flight is cancelled, the airline is not taking you over in terms of hotel cost. So you might have a lot of costs. And so what I want to say by that is that the costs are not only monetary nature, they are also psychological nature. To decrease this psychological nature, customers are sometimes ready to pay a higher price. A lot of customers buy a MacBook because they know that you have a good after-sales service. But on the other hand, you might also buy the cheapest notebook, but then you don't have the after-sales service, and the psychological costs are high. Because for all of you, including me, it's a disaster when the computer breaks down, because then basically you can do nothing anymore. That is why we are sometimes ready, we come back to the concept of perceived value, we are ready to increase the monetary cost for us in order to decrease the psychological cost. And psychological costs are the source of a lot of business services. Insurances, for example. Why do we take insurances? Why do we take, for example, an ultimate credit card or a gold credit card? Because we have insurances that enable us, for example, when we travel. We have healthcare, we have medical care,
we have return insurances that bring us back if we are injured. So in summary, we have a lot of insurances that aim at decreasing psychological costs. On the other hand, we have energy costs, which appear when we are traveling to go to a store, for example. That is why home delivery or e-commerce platforms have so much success, because they aim at decreasing energy cost and to reduce time and efforts we deploy when we are doing our purchases. So we have then the cost side, but on the other hand, customers buy for benefit reasons. And the benefits are not monodimensional. They are multidimensional. They can be utilitarian, so for economic benefits, for informational benefits, or for functional benefits. They can be hedonic, for pleasure and experience. They can be social, for relationships, and they can be altruistic. First of all, there are utilitarian benefits, which are based on economic motivations, that is the lowest price for a product. But utilitarian benefits can be also informational. That is the information about products, about sales promotion, and other useful information. And it could be ease of use or functionalism. So the easier a product is to use, the better will be perceived the benefits of the products. For example, let's take the example of a computer. So utilitarian benefits are price, but also processor performance, hard disk drive, RAM, and other features which increase the utilitarian benefits. Or for an airline, utilitarian benefits could be the prices of the passengers pay for the ticket, but also the equipment on board, like screen sizes or other electronic devices. It can be ease of processing, ease of check-in, ease of boarding. So all these benefits are characterized by utilitarian uses. But utilitarian benefits are not enough to differentiate one product or service from the competitors' ones. That is why a lot of brands use other features and other benefits to differentiate themselves, namely hedonic benefits, social benefits, relational benefits, and altruistic benefits. Hedonic benefits are basically based on experiences and pleasure that are granted by the product or the service. For a product, it appears mainly on design characteristics, the pleasure of manipulating the product, or the pleasure that is given by the product. Or we can take the example of high technology products. For example, nice materials, nice design gives pleasure and hedonistic feelings to customers, such as aluminium or other nice materials. On the other hand, it is possible to enhance services by hedonistic experiences. If you take the example of retail, for example, concept stores, for example, for Nivea or for L'Oreal or the Louis Vuitton concept store in Paris, Champs-Élysées, is a good example of hedonistic service experience. So the store is enhanced with nice lights, ambient music, and all features that aims at increasing service experiences through hedonistic feelings. Mega malls are also using hedonistic experience. If we take the example of the Mall of America, we can see that the mall is using all kind of devices and features to enhance the consumer experience. It goes until an amusement park within the Mall of America to increase user experience and hedonistic feelings. Or we can take the example of education. It is evident that students, first of all, choose a business school for its functional benefits, namely accreditations, international accreditations like EQUIS, AMBA or AACSB, the quality of the professors, the quality of the programs. But on the other hand, hedonistic benefits are also important because business schools generally offer amusement for students, such as parties or touristic offers, excursions to touristic destinations. So in summary, all this is increasing the functional advantages and functional benefits of the business school compared to the competitors' offers. Another type of benefits are social benefits. Social benefits are related to the status they are giving to the user of a product or a service. For example, brands give social status, namely luxury brands. If we have a luxury car like Porsche or Ferrari or Tesla car, we can expect that this brand gives social status to the user. Or if we take cosmetic brands, these cosmetic brands or luxury cosmetic brands bring also social status to the users. We can take the example of a frequent flyer program. The fact if you are in a platinum tier gives social status or social benefits to the user of the frequent flyer program. So social benefits, namely status, give supplementary benefits to customers next to the other benefits, such as utilitarian benefits. We have relational benefits, which are based on social capital, namely bridging social capital related to loose links with far friends or far knowledges, and bonding capital, which is related to close links with close relationships or close friends. Social benefits appear naturally on social media platforms, such as Facebook or LinkedIn. So we have there closer bonding social capital and looser, fairer bridging social capital. These relational benefits give us feelings of well-being, and support, social support through the others. Relational benefits can be created by brands through customer relationship management tools, namely brand communities they can create on social media platforms, namely after-sales service where customers can meet sales staff to establish relationships, namely loyalty or relationship programs, which aim at creating bonds or links between the brand and the customers. But it can also be done by co-creation platforms where the brand engages customers in co-creation approaches to improve products or services. And there are altruistic benefits. For example, people engage in altruistic activities to help others, to help organizations, to help poor people. And studies show that when done for the right reasons, the consumers may experience significant benefits as well. These benefits may include better health, reduced stress, better conscience, increased level of happiness, and sometimes even longer life. So in summary, firms and brands are using these different multiple benefits in order to construct their offers and in order to differentiate themselves from competitors. This is part of the competitive positioning. And according to the positioning, these benefits are less or more valued.
If we take the example of a low-cost carrier, you have only utilitarian benefits, but you pay also the lowest price. And so you have no hedonic benefits because your equipment on board is basic. Or if you want to have something to eat, then you have to pay. Whereas if you take a carrier like Emirates, Singapore Airlines, or Air France, you have very high service dimensions with prestigious equipment, big screens. For example, Air France was just delivered the A350 2 days ago here in Toulouse. So it's a question of prestige because the plane is very comfortable, very silent. You have more seat space. You have big screens even in the economy class.
The same aim was pursued with the acquisition of the A380. The equipment on board is very prestigious and very convenient and gives a lot of value to the passengers. And that is why Emirates, for a question of prestige, is the airline that holds the most of A380 planes in their fleet. So the functional benefits are created by the fact that the carrier is transporting the passenger from one city to another one. But next to this utilitarian functional benefits, benefits are created through hedonistic benefits, the on-board experience, relational benefits, the socialization with other customers or the brand, social benefits, the status created, for example, through a higher frequent flyer tier or by the fact that a passenger is flying first class or business class. We can take the example of the French carrier Air France. Air France is differentiating themselves mainly on service dimensions, namely empathy of the flying attendants, but also the speed of performance of the service, the equipment, the tangibles. And for example, Air France has uniforms, clothes from Christian Lacroix, the French designer, but also champagne in economy class, a very new business class and first class. So all these dimensions aim at differentiating Air France from other carriers and namely low-cost carriers. So in summary, the perceived value concept is very important. Perceived value is the comparison between the benefits that the product or a service brings to a customer compared to the cost to acquire this product. I remember the benefits are multidimensional, so utilitarian, hedonistic, social, relational, and altruistic. But on the other hand, the costs are not only monetary, but can be related to psychological factors and time factors. So perceived value is the ratio between the benefits and the cost of using a product. And
here are some
higher
examples, but
benefits,
I've already
the lower
given a lot of examples. The
higher
iPods
the perceived value.
and
That
later
is the
iPads
importance of our next work.
are
Mainly
what was the
perceived
innovative
value
aspect?
concept.
First of all,
Let me just conclude the example of perceived value and benefits with two examples: Apple iPod or iPads or iPhone, and Michelin connected tires. The advantage or the perceived benefits of iPods were the longer battery lives when they launched the product. And also the connectivity. That is, the iPod and iPad, iPhone today are integrated in a integrated ecosystem of Apple, where it is very easy to communicate with different devices between the MacBook, between the iPad, between the iPhone, and to transfer data, music, and photos on the different devices. So the higher benefits were related at the launch of the iPod due to longer battery life and higher connectivity. So utilitarian reasons, but there were also hedonistic reasons because of the nice design of Apple products due to nice and superior and high quality materials. Another example is Michelin. Michelin with its connected tires is a perfect example of what we call servicizing, which means that the brand transforms from selling physical tires to a firm that sells services, tire service, or new mobility systems, combining train, plane, and collaborative consumption. So instead of buying a tire, the customer buys the service to get transported in better conditions. Namely, Michelin invented the connected tire based on IoT or Internet of the Things technologies. This enables to follow and to control all of the security conditions of the tire. And the customers can then use an application to measure always if the tire is well inflated, or there are alarm clocks from Michelin ringing and contacting the customer to change the tires. So instead of buying a tire, the customer buys security of the transport, buys comfort of the transport, and all this is managed online via the IoT remote services to prevent from maintenance, insurance, and material usage. This is also creating less pollution and less environmental pressure. The only thing that the customer is doing or buying is kilometers of tire usage. So the customer will buy, for example, 40 or 50,000 or 100,000 kilometer tire usage per year, and buys a service of using this tire for this number of kilometers. And again, via the application, via IoT remote services, Michelin is ensuring a service, a maintenance service for the tire. This principle can be found on a lot of collaborative platforms, or what we also call collaborative consumption. Instead of buying a physical product, for example, a car or a bike or a flat, the customer buys the service to get, for example, transported or to have the right to live in a flat. It's a shared economy. This is a solution also to decrease the number of vehicles, but also decreases cost for maintenance, insurance, and material. But this is also a way to decrease pollution and to decrease the environmental pressure. Because if people are not owner of all the physical products, namely cars and other physical goods, there will be also produced less products. This is the basis of a transformative green marketing approach. Examples are car sharing, for example, BlaBlaCar or Autolieb or Turnaround, but it's also the driver service Uber. And examples are also the example we have just seen for Michelin, who changed and transformed the firm from selling tire firm to entire escort service throughout the whole product lines. And as we have seen, the customers do not longer pay for tires, but for the kilometers driven. Thus, the customer accepts higher prices, but this is encouraged by improved service quality of the brand.